Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the International Sim Drivers Club. I'm Kyle Heyer here with Sim TV, and this is the ISDC's final GNS race of the 2018 Season 6 season. The league has concluded operations for the rest of the summer and will restructure and revamp and be ready for the next season. So right now, we're just getting qualifying underway. This is really just a test stream for me to practice some things for Sunday. I'm back home from college, and I have a new streaming setup now. So just trying to make sure everything is going to go nice and smoothly so we don't have any issues on Sunday when we go with 3Y TV at Iowa Speedway with the trucks Sunday night at 10:15. So tonight, here we have NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series machines at Sonoma Raceway. And we all know about Sonoma. Slow, technical, and big tall curbs for these cars to jump on over. It's going to be a wild one here. 15 cars on the grid. And I don't have the correct logos for this because obviously this is just a test stream and I didn't plan in advance for this, so we're just going with the Rickshaw World Series logos for the IndyCar Series. They have their Indy 500 on Monday night at 9:15. Catch that here on Sim TV on Monday. So let's take a look at our weather and race information. Sonoma, USA. Welcome to Sonoma, California, and this is going to be a beautiful night for racing here. 95 degrees on the track, which is going to be nice and slippery for these big cup cars to work their way around. 68 degrees in the air, so nice and breezy for those up at the grandstands. Clear sky conditions and 2 miles an hour wind from the north. 10-turn road course here in California. It is going to be a good one. And right now, we're qualifying at the moment, so let's take a look at Johnny Ecker, the number 90. He's working his way right now through turns 3 and 4, heading up his way towards one of my favorite corners in all of racing. And I got to find my camera. There it is, the big tall curb cam over there in turn 3A, and up and over the curb he goes. And heads down towards one of 2 hairpins here at Sonoma Raceway. Now, Johnny Eckert, always competitive here, but it should be interesting to watch 15 of these big stock cars work their way around this track. Very technical, very tricky, and very slippery for these rear-wheel drive V8 beasts to work their way around. We'll set up these guys, 15 cars on the grid again, like I said. 2 minutes left in qualifying, so you're really only going to get 1 or 2 laps at the most. And we'll see who can put a lap down. The first one to put a lap down is Brian Mullen on the number 17. He's going to put down a 1:19.6, but Zach Buchanan's going to best that with a 1:16.7. That's a really fast lap for Buchanan in the number 40 machine. See Eckert working his way now through the final hairpin on the front straight. There's Zach Buchanan now in that number 40 Ford. The Dunder Mifflin, excuse me, Ford number 44. He slides wide there on the exit of the corner. He's going to stop and call it quits for now, but here's Gale Brooks in the number 17 DeWalt Camry. That's not the number 17, that's the number 71, excuse me. A minute and 20 seconds left in qualifying, and not everyone's made a lap, and not everyone's even on the racetrack. Chris Gutierrez, Deacon Allen, Nate Bowers, Justin Rector, Jeff Gross, Nick Cohen, among those that may or may not get a lap in, so let's see how that pans out at the end. And Will Roberts, the number 41 Camry. Burger Shot Toyota working his way through turn 2. And heading his way over to big tall curbs. I love watching these cars leap up over the curbing. Very dynamic, very fun to watch. He will missing the apex just a little bit, going a little bit wide, but no harm, no foul. 35 seconds left, and I don't think he's going to be able to get the rest of his lap in. But we'll see how it goes. Right now, he's 4th on the grid, so we'll pop open the ticker and see where everybody's going to sort out right now. Zach Buchanan, Johnny Eckert, Jackson Robillard, Will Roberts, Brian Mullen, Gale Brooks, and who is that there in 7th place? That's the number 27 of Justin Rodden. See Roberts sliding over the curb, and man, this place is fun to watch these cars roll around here. So qualifying is going to conclude now. Roberts might actually get to finish his lap. The checkers are in the air, and maybe not. Nope, that's not going to happen. The qualifying is over. We're going to get these 15 NASCAR Monster Energy Cup Series cars on the grid and ready to roll for 35 laps here around Sonoma. Should take about 45 to 50 minutes depending on how clean everything goes. Pull that for the time being. Anyway, so a 10-turn road course around here. Lots of elevation change. Very slippery, as we said. Also not a lot of runoff room. You're looking at turn 3A right there. That's really one of the only ones that has room for error, but that funnels you back down pretty quick once that turn is up and over and you're over the berm heading towards the first of 2 hairpins. We're looking now at the rough RT12 pace car. Zach Buchanan on the pole, that number 40. There's a Ford Fusion there. Finian was not able to join us right now, but he might join us in a little bit. So I'll see if he can jump in a little bit and help me commentate this, just as a little practice broadcast here. And again, ISDC is concluding operations after Monday night's IndyCar Series race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, their Indy 500. As soon as that race is over, they are concluding operations for Season 6 and will restructure and come back probably later this season at some point. We don't have a whole lot of details on that so far. So we're just going to kind of wait and see what happens as we're getting almost everyone gridded. Now we're just waiting on Chris Gutierrez, Deacon Allen, Nick Cohen, and Johnny Eckert to get on that grid. We work through, now in NASCAR, only 2 road courses in the Cup Series, and now 3 if you include Charlotte Motor Speedway's Roval, but Sonoma definitely the trickier course of the 2 between this and Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen being the faster, more rhythmic course, this being slow, steady, knock your competitors out of the way, kind of fun, and I expect to see a lot of argy-bargy here this evening. Should be fun to watch. But we're going to get these guys ready to roll here shortly. Gridding is almost over. And it looks like we have pretty much everybody on the grid. Here's your leader, Zach Buchanan, the pole sitter. He's going to slowly roll off, release that clutch, and let the car roll off behind the rough RT12 pace car for 35 laps around here. We're going to do a full pace lap, let that pace car go in, and we're going to set these guys loose. Jackson Robillard there in the Southwest Ford. I like that paint scheme on there. Looks like the tail of a Southwest airliner, which is kind of neat. So Jackson Robillard, the 98, will roll off 3rd, and next to him, the 41. That's Will Roberts in the Burger Shot Camry. And then, of course, the number 71 of Gail Brooks in the Walt Toyota Camry. Buchanan and Eckert are going to work their way through turn 3A, head down towards turn 7, I think they call this one. I don't really know what the corner names are at Sonoma. They're a little bit strange, but we're working our way through the backside of the course now. That hairpin of prime passing opportunity. Now we work our way through the S's as we're going to ride on board here on the nose of the number 40. But this is a very fast section. Really can't run side by side here. Got to be single file by the time you work your way through this section of the course. There's where IndyCar goes off to the left there, that little straightaway combined with that chicane at the end. And then there's that fast right-hand kink. Turn 9 or turn 10, depending on how you count them here. And that's a downshift and a slow and steady right turn. Maybe use the curb a little bit to help the car rotate. A little bit of rumble strip on the exit, but not a whole lot of runoff there. And that is a sandy and slippery exit if you miss your corner. So you have to get that right. 15 cars on the grid, but I think only 13 have entered the race. So Deacon Allen and Chris Gutierrez not in this one so far. So Buchanan and Eckert are going to lead them onto the front straightaway. And the green flag is in the air for 35 laps here at Sonoma. We're kind of single file already. We're getting them sorted out. There's the 13 of Nate Bowers, the Band-Aid number 13, working his way up through turn 1 and 2. Out up front, not much has changed. Zach Buchanan in the 40, Johnny Eckert in the 90, and Jackson Robillard in the 98. Your top 3. Working their way now through turn 3, up and over the curbs. Not a great passing opportunity there, but if you can make it work. Certainly can if you stick your nose in deep enough. Working our way through the S's now. That number 40 out in front by about 1.1 seconds. Here's the 21 of Nick Cohen looking for pass around the outside of the 71 of Gil Brooks. He's going to just roll over and let Nick have that spot. I hear some contact. Will Roberts in the 98. A little bit of argy-bargy there, but Roberts not going to be able to take that spot just yet. Right on board with the number 41 of Roberts as we head through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Nick Cohen in the 21, already looking to make a pass on the 41 of Roberts, and Nick is off to a good start here. Started 8th, up 3 spots already, and looking for a 4th. We'll see if he can chase down the 41 of Roberts and maybe look for a pass in the final hairpin. And Nick now on the bumper of that Burger Shot Camry. Will he look for it? He's going to. Here he comes down to the inside in the final hairpin here. Roberts going to roll over and drills a cone that's flying through the air there. And Roberts might actually even give a spot up to the 71 if he's not careful. This is the tightest battle on the racetrack, but back here there's a little bit of a battle here with Nate Bowers and Jeff Gross in the number 97, and the 13 is going to go for a loop. They get it pointed back in the right direction, but 27 of Justin Rodden's got a major damage to the nose of that car. I've never even seen a car that damaged in iRacing in general. What happened to this car? Justin Rodden driving around with no nose on that vehicle. Meanwhile, out up front, Zach Buchanan has not really gotten away very far from Johnny Eckert. Johnny Eckert is about 0.8 of a second behind, and the gap is closing. Last time by, Eckert was 0.4 faster than the number 40. See Eckert going for a little bit of a slide there. And 8th and 9th is a little bit tight. Number 12 of Cody McCorkle and Don Runkle Jr. in the 00 right behind him. About 10 seconds, but... Oh, excuse me. There's Zach Buchanan continuing to lead. But now the lead gap is about 0.6 of a second, so Eckert faster still that time by. Let's ride on board with Eckert for the first half of this lap. See Eckert using the curbs very liberally there, and that's really to help the car rotate around these tight corners here in these big heavy stock cars. See Buchanan misses apex, and so does the number 90 of Eckert. That gap is closed even more, and here comes the 90 looking for a pass. With Fanza on the hood of that number 90. We work our way through the S's. And Buchanan takes a bad hop up and over the curb, and he's going to lose a lot of momentum. And here comes the number 90. Will he look to the inside? No, he's going to back off and wait another corner here. Prime passing opportunity coming up right now. Comes Eckert hard on the brakes. And he is chasing down this 40, and I expect to see a pass here shortly. Can Buchanan hold him off in the time being? Robillard behind them about 3 seconds back from Eckert, and he is hunting these two if anything happens. Through turn 2 now. Last time by it was 0.4 of a second at the line. Eckert drilling over those curbs, trying to get every advantage he can on Buchanan, but he's going to slip and lose a little bit of ground. Meanwhile, while this is going on, Will Roberts still trying to defend from the 71 of Gale Brooks. The battle for 5th is just as tight as the battle for the lead, but Buchanan has managed to hold off Eckert for the time being. I thought Eckert was really going to have something for him in the hairpin the last time by, and didn't keep that gap close enough. We'll see what the gap is now. It's up to 0.7 of a second. And this is the tightest battle on the racetrack for the lead. Now it's 0.5 of a second heading into the hairpin. Eckert sliding on exit, trying to put the power down, 850 horsepower plus in these Monster Energy Cup cars. 0.6 of a second. That gap has kind of been fluctuating just a little bit. Let's look out from the rear of the number 40, back at the number 90. a look back at the 17 of Brian Mullen. Running an RIP ISDC scheme on that number 17 Chevrolet SS this week. And up and, wow, big big hop over that curb. I can't talk tonight. Not really. I need Finian to help me out, but gonna work his way through. We see a little bit of smoke from the number 12 of Cody McCorkle up ahead. Both these guys, and you see McCorkle with a little bit of left front damage on that number 12 Ream Chevrolet. Up front, that gap is still about half of a second. It's sure a heck of a battle up here. Let's see if Eckert can close any more this time by. See Buchanan really squirrely on power, trying to get every advantage, and he slips a little bit on exit, and here comes the number 90, trying to close that gap even more. Back here, Justin Rodden making it work with that damaged Red Bull Toyota Camry. That is about as beat up as I've ever seen a car in iRacing or in real life in general. Just that is really beat up, and he's going to go around the 00 of Don Runkle Jr. I think Don's probably reevaluating just a little bit how that car got in front of him. But again, Sonoma, very, very tricky, and if you're not apt to the slippery conditions, you're going to have a hard time rolling around here. Buchanan still leads. We're on lap 8 of 35. Almost a quarter of the way through this one. With the gyro cam here on board with the number 90, and we'll see how much this car gets up in the air, up and over the curbs. Probably 10 to 15 degrees of angle when these cars jump the curbs like this. Let's see if he hits the apex here in 3A. Just misses it. Very violent ride here around Sonoma Raceway. Meanwhile, Nick Cohen is closed in. He's past Will Roberts. He's going for the number 98 of Jackson Robillard now. And trying to see if he has the best time. He doesn't, but he is pretty well up there with the two leaders in terms of lap times currently. His last couple laps have been much quicker. So he's closing now on Robillard, and this will be a pass. He's going to look, slips, can't quite do it. Meanwhile, up front, we got a pass for the lead, not quite. Whoa, whoa, the 21's out of control, and he's going to slide in. Will he miss the wall? He does, and he's going to get back going. All that progress is gone. We're definitely going to have to get a look at that. Just gets wide, and is he getting dirt on the exit? No, just a little bit too much power, and wow, he got close to that wall. That could have been really bad. But he managed to miss everything. Meanwhile, up front, this battle, we've had a pass for the lead while that replay was going on, so we're going to have to go back and show that now. It happened on corner exit, and the number 90 has gotten around the 40 for the lead. And pulling away quickly, up to a second gap now for Eckert. The field pretty well spread out now. Take a run through the field. There's the second place, Zach Buchanan in the number 40, who has had a couple successful runs in the ISDC Rickshaw World Series over there on the IndyCar side. Hasn't had a strategy quite work out his way, but has had very competitive race cars every single week. We expect to be very, very good in the Indianapolis 500 on Monday. Jackson Robillard in the 98 Southwest car. Went for a loop at Indianapolis, if I recall correctly, or for the Indianapolis Grand Prix last week. Working his way now through the hairpin. And then Nick Cohen, of course, we saw him spin, and he's dragging tire marks all the way through the hairpin again. He's driving that thing out of control. And I think his tires are a little bit too toasty now to get that forward traction. But Nick almost lost it a couple laps ago in that number 21 Target Camry, and managed to hold on to it and keep it rolling forward. So let's see if he can get his forward progress back up and rolling. And Will Roberts goes around for a spin into the wall. And that is the kink there on the front straight. He's got pretty significant damage to the front of that 41 Burger Shot Camry. I gotta look at the replay of that and see if we can figure out exactly what happened there. Well, this was a long time coming. I gotta back up even farther than that. Right on board with them through it here. A little bit too much power, and oh, he was crashing for a long time, but just slid and just nicks the wall at the end, but pretty significant damage. You see the 71 going by him there. So the 41 now has major damage to the nose of that car and falls to 6th. You know, Cody McCorkle has crashed hard over there on the far side of the course. And we're going to have to go back and find out what happened to him. Or is that over in the first half? We have to take a look and see what happened. Oh, I think that's just a little bit of frustration and just drills the wall, and that's going to be it for Cody McCorkle. So, a little bit of frustration, that's going to be the end of his day. You know, Johnny Eckert has extended his lead to 1.8 seconds now. So Will Roberts making do with that damaged nose, and he's continuing in 6th, but as you can see, started 4th, so he's dropped 2 spots, and been struggling. His last lap was 1:33, but that was the lap that he spun out on, so we'll see how much his lap times are affected by the damage. Nick Cohen starting to track down Jackson Robillard in the 98 once again. Last time by, looked like he was the 3rd fastest car on the track. The fastest was Johnny Eckert, the number 90, up front, and then it was Jackson Robillard in the number 98 in 3rd, who is a little bit quicker than Zach Buchanan in 2nd, so Buchanan's struggling there just a little bit after losing the lead a couple laps ago. Looks like there's a little bit of left front damage there on the 40. I'm not sure if he got that from the pass, but Eckert passed him on the right, so it might have just nicked the wall on the front straight just a little bit. Shouldn't be anything too major, but definitely noticeable damage on that left front. We got a lap machine of the 00 of Don Runkle Jr. He's gone a lap down. Struggling mightily, ran a 125.8 last time by, and Zach Buchanan is going to drive right by him. Last time by, Nick Cohen was 0.6 of a second faster than our leader, and about 1.5 seconds faster than the 3rd and 2nd place cars, and now he's brought that gap between him and Robillard down to under 3 seconds, and he was about 8 seconds down after his spin over there by the final hairpin. So he is closing that gap again, and I expect to see him challenging in a short time for that lead. We'll ride on board with Nick Cohen for a lap and see what he does to get around here so fast. And I'm going to shut up for a little bit and let you enjoy the sounds of this beautiful V8 race car. Saw there Nick Cohen trying to get by that lap machine of the 00 Don Runkle Jr. and got a little bit wide and got a slowdown, so he had to give that spot up or that time back up and has lost about a second and a half of his ground that he had made up on Jackson Robillard, so back down the order he goes. But last time by, he ran a mid-118 lap time, which is about 2 seconds quicker than our front three. And with this many laps left, he certainly will be able to catch them if he can keep his car on the course for the remainder of the race. Everyone's pretty well spread out now. Zach Buchanan has actually closed the gap on the leader just a little bit. Brought that, wow, he just misses the tire barrier there. About 1.4 seconds between him and the leader. And Eckert's been out front now for about 8 laps. Also got St. Jude Children's Research Hospital on the quarter panel of the number 90, so that's it for a good cause there. Here comes Zach Buchanan, and that gap extended just a little bit more, up to about a 1.8 second gap. Nick Cohen might have gone around again, actually. He's lost even more time to Robillard. So continuing the struggles for Nick, even though he's had the fastest car on the racetrack the past couple laps when he's had a good, clean lap. But unfortunately has not been so good. And meanwhile, Cody McCorkle, Nate Bowers, Justin Rector, and Jeff Gross all retired from this race with crash damage. Chris Gutierrez and Deacon Allen have not even started, so they're not on the racetrack in any sense of the word. Will Roberts fallen into the clutches here of Brian Mullen just a little bit. Or excuse me, closing in, I'm sorry, the other way around. Closing in on the 71 of Gil Brooks. About 4 seconds back, but this is actually a pretty tight battle considering everyone's so spread out. And Brooks runs a little bit wide in turn 2 there. So we'll see if Roberts can close that gap. Now, last time by ran a 120.7, and Brooks might have just had an issue because he and Nick Cohen just ran 127s last time by. So both about 7 to 10 seconds off the pace where we expect them to be. So Roberts is closing the gap and continues to close it, even with that crash damage. We're right on board here on the nose of the 41. But meanwhile, up front, the gap is closing a little bit more between the leader and second place, Zach Buchanan. And we got some lap traffic to negotiate here. Oh, we got a yellow. Caution is out on the racetrack. Caution is out. So the yellow flag flies on lap 16. Not sure what that's for. I'm not really super familiar with this series, so I'm not sure if they run a halfway break or something of the sort. But caution is out now on lap 16. We'll sort everybody out. Here's your leader, Johnny Eckert, and Zach Buchanan, 1 and 2. About 7 seconds behind this, we got Jackson Robillard in the 98. There he is. Wow, jumps wide over the curb. And then shortly behind him, we should see the number 21 of Nick Cohen. And Nick Cohen's got to be going, thank you, because he lost a lot of ground, and he's going to get all that back now with this yellow flag. And he's been very quick, very respectably quick, running similar lap times or faster than the leader. So he will be a big threat on the restart. And there's 00 of Don Runkle Jr., who's a lap down in 9th place. 71 of Gil Brooks, that's your 5th place car. We should see Will Roberts here in the number 41. There he is. And then Brian Mullen is coming up behind, but we're going to jump ahead here. So the caution is out. Should be a couple laps here. I think the caution sequence at Sonoma is 3 laps. We'll jump up here in the meantime from the Goodyear blimp, looking down at Sonoma Raceway, the 10-turn road course. The beautiful mountains of California. And there is the Rough RT12 pace car picking up the leader. And Justin Rodden, the 27, also happy to see this yellow. But that very damaged race car running about lap time is pretty off the pace and almost went a lap down. So he's going to get to, not the wave around, but he'll be able to get to catch back up to the rear end of the field. There's your top three. 90, 40, 98. Gonna look at the 41 here. That's pretty severe damage on the nose, but it's Sonoma is not really an aero racetrack by any means. Shouldn't really hurt him that bad. It's just got to worry about the steering if that's driving straight right now. We'll see if we can get a look on board and see if the steering wheel's straight when he straightens out the wheel. Looks pretty straight, so he might be all right. Really not the prettiest car in the world. He's gonna head into pit lane to see if he can grab some tires and repair that vehicle. So others on pit road, we got the leaders, Johnny Eckert and Zach Buchanan on pit road, as well as Jackson Robillard. So pretty much everyone is in pit road, and there's Will Roberts pulling into his stall. And Johnny Eckert gets out first, Zach Buchanan in second, Robillard and Cohen, so your top four don't change. And as does your fifth place car, Gil Brooks, he's going to pop out in P5. Will Roberts trying to repair as much of that damage as he can. We'll see how much that does for him. See, there's the 17 of Brian Mullen popping in for a pit stop. The field's going to work their way around, back to the pace car once again. We have 18 laps to go this time by, so we're about halfway. When we go back green, I expect to see that 21 of Nick Cohen on the charge. Started in 8th, moved up to 4th. He's been the quickest car out there under green flag conditions for most of the race. I expect that not to change. But Zach Buchanan might be able to lay some fire back on the rear bumper of the number 90, and I'm not sure if that damage was from contact earlier or if that was from the wall. But either way, Buchanan is hungry to get one, and Johnny Eckert's going to have to run away as fast as he can. And Robillard's also been quick. He's run some pretty decent lap times at the closing end of that run. And Will Roberts is back out on the racetrack. And that damage is fixed quite a bit, actually. Not a whole lot of damage left on that car after a pretty significant hit. So we just got the 1 to green symbol from the pace car. The lights are off, and we're going to double up and head back to green at the end of this lap. So Roberts is going to work his way around and catch the tail end of the field, as does Justin Rodden, who is not able to replace those body panels. And Don Runkle Jr.'s got a ways to go. Unless he's just going to catch the tail of the field here, which I imagine that's what he'll do. There's your top 5. And the lapper of the 00 Don Runkle. Then Brian Mullen, Will Roberts, and Justin Rodden will catch the tail of the field here. And the caution has been extended a lap. Presumably to let these other cars catch back up to the tail of the field. The cautions are pretty short here on the roadside, so we've got to allow for everyone to get their spots back. You see Nick Cohen there taking wide line through the dirt there. Not sure what that's all about, but again, Nick Cohen, an impressive run from 8th to 4th. And I expect, and that car also, even though he's had a spin, pretty clean, not really a scratch on it for considering what he's been doing. So he's passed a lot of cars and not had a lot of contact, which is a good thing here at Sonoma. You don't really want to be beating up your fenders because you can knock the toe out of the steering and have a bad time. Take a look at the race and weather information once more. 95-degree track temp. That is slick around here at Sonoma Raceway here in Sonoma, California. There's the 1 to green symbol again, and I think now we're going to have everyone caught back up. You see Justin Rodden is really the last car on the lead lap we got to worry about. Don Runkle Jr. got a wave around here. He's going to come around and catch the tail of the field as well. He should be able to get there in time. Looking from the chopper cam now, down on the number 90. Now, we would expect to see some damage. If there was contact between the two leaders when that pass occurred, you'd expect to see some damage on the number 90, but left front of Buchanan's car torn up a little bit, probably from the pit wall when you have to make that left-hand turn in turn 1. Very easy to scrape the bumper on that as you drive by, as you try to get every little bit that you can. So Buchanan, not going to hurt him, just trying to see if we can figure out where it's from. We're going to double up here shortly and send these guys back racing. You know, but how much bigger the stock cars are than that rough RT12 pace car leading the field around. So we'll double them up. Nick Cohen is also notably going to be on that outside lane for turn 1, but that'll give you the inside for row 2. We're going to be 15 laps to go when we come back to the green, and we got 8 cars on the lead lap, and actually 9 cars on the lead lap. Don Runkle Jr. got the free pass, so 9 cars on the lead lap. Really, 7 to 6 of them are competitive. Rodden and Runkle. Runkle's been off the pace. Rodden's got some pretty significant damage, but we don't expect to see him doing too great with all that nose missing. So Eckert's going to lead him around the final corner. Waiting, waiting, waiting. And green flag is back in the air here. 15 laps to go at Sonoma. There's Nick Cohen looking, and there goes Robillard around the inside. Oh, there's contact between the second and third place car. Here comes Cohen to take an advantage onto the inside of Buchanan in turn 2. Oh, Buchanan gets loose. Wow, Buchanan is all over the place, sliding, trying to maintain his position. Oh, the 41's out of control. 41 to Roberts going to cut the course. He's going to have a slowdown there. Look back up here at the 21. Up and over. Buchanan trying to get that spot back from Robillard, and he is aggressive to take that spot back. Leader of Eckert is just checked out. The battle here is for second place. A 3-car battle, the 98, the 40, and the 21. The Southwest Ford, the Dunder Mifflin Ford, and the Target Camry. Down into the final corner, the 40 is going to look to the inside of Robillard. He will complete that pass easily. Here comes the 21 to the inside. He's going to take advantage of that as well. And look to the inside of the 40. Can he get 2 in one corner? No, he can't. Side by side for third now. And move Cohen up to third. Impressive stuff by the 21. Meanwhile, Will Roberts lost a spot on that restart with that slide in turn 3A. But this battle for second is the hottest one so far. And Robillard gets a little bit sideways off turn 2. Oh, we got him 3 of them in the grass. All in the grass. Heading down to turn 3A, up and over the curbs. What a battle with these second and third place cars. Robillard might have lost a couple spots, but he's right in the prime seat. If the 21 gets into the 40 or the 40 cuts down on the 21, it's going to be a tight battle with these two, especially because Cohen is running pretty much identical lap times to second place Zach Buchanan. So they stretch out just a little bit for now. Whoa, Robillard a little bit loose on the brakes there, maybe a little bit of wheel hopping. Gonna get right to the rear bumper of the 21, give him a little push. A little bit of a scrape on that front nose now, but pretty light contact there, and that's what you expect here at Sonoma. Last time by, Buchanan was the fastest car by about 0.8 of a second, and that leader is actually falling back to these guys just a little bit, and Buchanan, wow, he's out of control. He's gonna lose it. No, he doesn't. An incredible save by the 40 Buchanan. He's still out of control. He's going to give up that second spot. Oh, there's contact. And out of control into the wall hard. The 40 Buchanan is out of it. So contact between Robillard and Buchanan. We're going to go back and look at it. Buchanan was just out of control everywhere trying to hold on to this. Let's watch from on board from Robillard here. He just stuck his nose in, and that's really all it took. And that was the end of the race for the number 40 car. But Johnny Eckert leads 1.4 seconds over Nick Cohen, who ran 0.4 faster than Cohen last time by. We'll see if that gap closes again. And Jackson Robillard in third, Gale Brooks in fourth, Justin Rodden in fifth, Brian Mullen in sixth, Don Runkle Jr. in seventh. Bill Roberts has fallen to ninth. He is out off the racetrack with more damage. We didn't get a look at that. We were following a tight battle for the lead. There's 21 of Cohen. Last time by, 118.537. The leader ran of 118.619, so about a tenth quicker. And that lead is closing, and we have about 11 laps to go when we get back to the line. And that 21 is closing and closing fast. Now 9/10 of a second back to the leader. Eckert has been flawless all evening, has not made a single mistake yet, but at the end of the day, Cohen's just quicker. I mean, I don't know what happened in his qualifying lap, but he's definitely quicker than he looks to be in qualifying. So Cohen closing now 0.6 of a second. These two Toyota Camrys up front getting racy. Now 0.2 of a second, and Cohen is there. Can he make a move on the 90 going up and up the hill? He's not going to look this time, but he's going to try to set him up. You see him looking a little bit wide there, up, down onto the apex, up and over the top of the curbing. And this lead is going to be challenged here shortly, and Jackson Robillard sitting behind him just asking these guys to wreck into each other, but will Cohen get there? He drove in deep that time. Not going to look. I would expect a move here heading into turn 7. Will he make it? Not this time, not close enough. Being patient here. This is what we've seen Nick Cohen do all evening in the first 25 laps of this race. Patience has worked out for him, moving up from 8th up to 2nd. But we'll see if that'll get him up to 1st. Eckert has been so smooth and has kept it on the course the whole time. Cohen's been a little bit all over the place, had a spin earlier. Not going to look this time, just going to be patient with it. But Cohen spun out. Got to slow down from trying to pass the 00 Don Runkle Jr. as he was being lapped. So the struggles have been there. But also, while this battle is brewing for the lead, Jackson Robillard has closed the gap about a second quicker than both these drivers last time by, so that we might have a 3-car battle for the lead here shortly. Especially because Cohen's taking his time, and I think once he sees that number 98 growing in his mirror, he's going to start getting a little bit punty with that nose of that Camry. Use the chrome horns to push that 90 out of the way and take the lead if he has to. 10 laps to go here at Sonoma. One car, 2 cars, 3 cars, nose to tail for the lead. 10 to go. Can Cohen close it? Up and over the curb. I think Robillard is just putting that pressure on. That's all he has to do is pressure the 21 to make a mistake and potentially wipe both the 2 leaders out. And Robillard could take over, and it's another 12 seconds back, 13 seconds back to the 71 of Gil Brooks. I wanted Cohen. Very patient. Could have forced the issue a couple times here. Hasn't done it. There's a 98 sliding on the brakes again. A little bit of wheel hop heading into the final corner. I think Cohen's just waiting for the right time to make this move. Got time left. 9 laps to go. About 12 minutes. Oh, Cohen's in the wall. Cohen is in the wall. Too much power on the front straight. Let's see if he has any damage. That's pretty significant left front damage there. Hopefully the toe is not knocked out of it, but that's going to give Johnny Eckert a 1.5 second lead. So Cohen's got to go track him back down. And this is why you have to wonder, you know, why he didn't force the issue earlier. Because he was patient and ended up being a little bit too aggressive. Because he could have made the move in an easier spot. But I guess he'll be thinking about that again, but he's closed already 4/10 back, so he's definitely quicker. That damage doesn't seem to be hindering him. And Robillard is just frothing at the mouth, waiting to get taken advantage of this lead battle. The Cohens close that gap back down to half a second. And the leaders are 1, 2, 3, nose to tail, 0.6 of a second separating first and third. Right on board with Robillard here and get an idea of what this battle is like. Let's go on the gyro cam here on the number 98. Oh, Cohen looks just a little bit, shows the nose, but can't quite make that move there. It's dangerous to make that move on corner exit. Eight laps to go, and the battle has been raging for several laps now in this 35-lap race. Nick Cohen is he back? There he is. A little bit of interconnectivity issues, but here he comes. Looking to the outside now. Eckert goes a little bit defensive. The first time we've seen him run a defensive line. I thought Nick Cohen had gotten DQ'd or something there, but continues to run in second place. But here comes Robillard looking. And Cohen just, oh, he wants it so bad, but he can't force it too quickly. But here comes Robillard now. If Cohen isn't careful and doesn't run a defensive line himself, he might get overtaken by the number 98. So he's got to be watching front and rear. And kind of doing two things at once here, especially without a spotter to be helping him out. Well, he takes a look, but that's not really a great place to pass. But the 98 gets real close to that rear bumper, up and over the curbs on corner exit, down to the hairpin once more. I've noticed Robillard driving in a lot deeper than these other cars, and it's worked out for him so far, but Cohen's been very conservative on corner entry. And that might end up hurting him if Robillard gets a nose in. This is the closest battle on the racetrack, so we're going to keep an eye on this one. 7 laps to go. Going to be 6 when we get to the line. Oh, Robillard's got a little bit sideways off the corner there. He's going to lose a little bit of ground on these two leaders. Identical lap times by the front 3 last time. A 1:19.4, a 1:19.4, and a 1:19.8. Also, a 1:19.2 by the 71 of Gale Brooks, but he's too far back to really be a major threat with 6 laps to go in this one. And Cohen is closing again. He's been so patient behind the number 90, being very respectful of the rear bumper of Johnny Eckert. But when does the respect run out? Here he goes to the inside. He looks. Eckert is going to give him room. Who can get the power down better? It's going to be Eckert. He's going to drive away again, but that's the first real passing attempt we've seen by the 21. And Robillard closes back up to the rear bumper of Nick Cohen. Down into turn 10. Whoa, Robillard hard on the brakes again. He's driving in so deep to try to close that ground. A little bit of contact with the leaders now. Wow, Robillard hangs it out in corner exit. A little bit of contact. That's the first bump we've seen Cohen give Eckert. Hello, I'm there. See a little bit of a dent on the front grille of that number 21 car. Oh, Cohen misses apex just by a little bit there, and you see how much it costs him on corner exit. Here, the wheel hop from the number 90 just a little bit. Cohen, big over the top of the curbs there, and gonna try to close back in again. Very rhythmic section here, the S's. Oh, Cohen closed a lot of ground there in the S's. Misses apex just by a little. You can see just by making one mistake. Oh, he's loose. He's loose. He's out of control into the wall. He's into the wall. Cohen's in the wall again. And with 4 laps to go, he's going to have to really work hard to chase the leader of Eckert back down. We're going to get a look at that. Yeah, just got in the dirt and nosed in pretty hard into the concrete there. Hopefully that car's not too damaged, and he can put a battle back up front. 1.1 seconds is the gap. There's a 0-0. Getting out of the way the best he can. .3 seconds now. Might be a little bit of damage to the steering of that car. I guess we'll know if the 21 does not close this time by. He's been consistently quicker than the 90, so if he's slower this time by, we'll know there's a lot more going on than meets the eye. But we're going to have 3 to go when we get to the line, and time is running out. And I think when the 21 gets there, if he gets there, he's going to have to move him this time. You cannot wait any longer to make this move. Three laps to go at Sonoma. Alright, gap is now 9/10 of a second, so Cohen is closing just a little bit. Was 2/10 quicker last time by. Now it's 8/10 of a second, so he's closing, but can he get that advantage up enough to catch... Oh yeah, you know, if he can keep doing what he's doing right now and chase down Eckert that quickly, he will get there, and he will have time to move him. But he's have to be aggressive, and again, that's what's gotten him in trouble so far. That's probably why he's not leading now, is the aggressive moves he made earlier to lose him ground. Imagine if he didn't spin out earlier the race, he would have already been leading. But 6/10 of a second now. Full ride on board. And again, that's what's going to cost you. Now the gap is 1.6 seconds, and it's grow even a little bit more. And now with 2 to go, he's going to have to catch him at a rate of 8/10 of a second a lap to even have a shot. See if he can do it. I mean, it's got a little bit of a tall order, but we'll see. Let's ride on board with him again. I'm going to shut up for the last little bit of this lap here. We'll see if he can close that gap. As we come to the white flag, that gap has shrunk back down. It's going to be a battle to the finish. Can the 21 of Nick Cohen get to the rear bumper of the number 90 of Johnny Eckert, and will he move him? He's given him a little bit of a shot before. It's half a second the gap, but that's close enough. Now it's 0.3 of a second. That's definitely close enough to get there this lap. Last time by was a second quicker than our leader. Will he get there? Will he use the bumper? We're about to find out. Through turn 3A. Eckert very conservative. 21's looking to the outside. Eckert defends to the outside. Here comes the 21 of Nick Cohen. Not going to be able to close the deal. Eckert slams the door. They're going to get single file here, and I think Cohen's got one more shot at making this work. It's going to come down here in the hairpin. How does he set this up? Will he make the run up and over the curb? Can he get the run? He's going to have to make a dive for it. Will he do it? Eckert defends. Here he comes to the inside. He moves him. Contact with the leaders. Eckert goes around. And the 21's going to wait. The checker flag is in the air. And Nick Cohen is going to come to the line and take the victory here at Sonoma. Wow, what a finish. Now, I know one guy who's not going to be very happy with that, and that'll be Johnny Eckert, the number 90. Let's go back and take a look at it. I think this is what you have to do, though. Apologize for the replay there. We're going to try to get a better look at it. Down to the inside. Yeah, see, now, the thing about that, I guess we'll have to do this from a different perspective here. The question is, did the 90 throw a block? He did move over, but he's also kind of going for the corner, so a couple things could be said. Nick Cohen did stop for a second, as if he felt a little bit of guilt there for that. Take another look at it. Right on board with the number 21. Well, it's your call, folks. That's a tough one. At the end of the day, Nick Cohen came out on top in that 21, fastest car for most of the day, and he was able to take the victory. So you see your results there on the left-hand side of your screen, and that came down to what we expected it to come down to, but a little bit more argy-bargy than maybe we expected. We're going to go to break real quick. I'm going to just see if we're going to grab some interviews or not. Again, this is really just meant as a test stream, but I'm going to try to jump in and see if I can grab maybe Johnny Eckert to see what he has to say about that, and we'll get back to you in just a few minutes. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Sim TV, and there is your winner at the top of your screen there, that target number 21 of Nick Cohen. Victorious here at Sonoma after a 35-lap battle with Johnny Eckert and Jackson Robillard. Nick Cohen came out on top after a last corner move that ended in disaster for the number 90 of Johnny Eckert. And we'll take you back one more time here in just a little bit to take a look at it. But basically, the 21 and the 90 had pretty significant contact heading into the corner. Cohen had been chasing the 90 down for several laps. We were unable to reach either for comment. But the end of the day, this is the final race for the ISDC GNS series, and it ended in fireworks. And as we watched earlier in the race, this curb hop by the 21 up and over the top. But we'll try to pull up the replay again of exactly what happened. Now, it might take me a little bit of a time to find this. Here we go. Here's a replay of the final moments of this one. So this is the last half of a lap here. We're going to watch this from the blimp cam again here. The 21 takes a look, can't quite get it done. He's got one more opportunity to make a move, and that's really going to be that hairpin section, that last final corner, that kind of invites a dive bomb. Let's watch it again. We can see if the number 90 maybe made a block, or if this was overly aggressive by the 21. 90's chosen his line and moves to the right there the last second, but I think the 21 was going to hit him regardless. So here is move once again. I think the 21 stopped moving over, and the 90 moved over to the right, so that was just always going to end in a collision no matter what. But at the end of the day, the 90 went around, and that was that. So now we have our conclusion of this race, the final race of the ISDC GNS series. ISDC is shutting down its operations for an unspecified amount of time to restructure and hopefully come back bigger, better, and stronger. Later this year, we don't have any details about that, so you have to keep in touch with Will Roberts through ISDC's website and other information, or through the ISDC Discord. Links to Sparko, our sponsor, is in the description. Again, this was really just a test stream for me to test out everything. It seems like everything's working, so we're in good shape for that. Thanks for watching Sim TV. I'm Kyle Heyer here at the Sonoma Raceway in Sonoma, California, with the International Sim Drivers Club, the ISDC, once more, shutting down indefinitely. Hopefully it'll be back. But thanks for watching. Thanks for being with us. Please leave us a like, and please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. We got a bunch of good racing coming up, including Sunday night, 3-wide racing truck series at Iowa Speedway, and then Monday, ISDC's final race, the Indianapolis 500, here on Monday night at 9 p.m. And then follow up on Tuesday night next week. We have GRC, as well as Sunday also next week. We have the SCAR series, the Sim Championship Racing Series. Their IndyCar series is back with us on Sunday night at 10:15. So be with us for that. Thanks for watching. From Sim TV, I'm Kyle Heyer. Thanks for watching. We're out.